He's getting older.
You gotta be raping me!
Oh, hit the volume.
But not wiser.
Cut that bitch off!
This is The Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to The Lefty Show. I am your host, Lefty. Glad to be here with all of you today, Tuesday, which is the 19th of August in the year of our Spaghetti Monster 2014, for episode number 76 of The Lefty Show. Keep on trucking along. We keep on trucking. We're like Convoy, like this song, Convoy. C.W. McCall, great song. For those of you, look it up. It's amazing. It's a masterpiece, if you will. C.W. McCall. Thank you to everybody for joining. I hope to put on a great show for you today. Again, episode number 76. I thank you all for watching, liking, favoriting on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can find the show in its YouTube formation. You can also follow me on Twitter at Lefty643. That's Twitter.com/Lefty643 to be up on les tweeters. And thank you to everybody that has been helping the show grow by sharing it with friends, family, and co-workers. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, on your Android devices, on your iPhone, through the iTunes Store. Just search The Lefty Show. You will find us there, especially if you're in the iTunes Store. Search The Lefty Show. Find the show, subscribe, download all the episodes for your listening pleasure. And I thank everybody. Again, we've been having some donations roll in, and imraising.com/643 Productions. That's imraising.com/643 Productions. I've got to talk about, oh boy, we had an interesting yesterday, which wasn't the weekend, but no, it was Sunday evening, if as I recall. So yeah, yesterday was Monday, so it was Sunday evening. We all had an exercise in this YouTube community. Or we all saw firsthand, and we got an exercise in why the war on drugs is completely farcical, why it's absurd, why it's just the original intent may have been noble, but at this point, it's just gotten completely and utterly absurd, and we're ruining people's lives or trying to ruin people's lives for just trying to get high, and there are other ways to get, quote, high that are perfectly legal, and we don't ruin people's lives over it unless they get in the car and drive and then don't hurt anybody. But then they say, we say, your life is over. Oh, okay. But Whiteboy7thst and his live-in girlfriend, KPOPP, Alex and Kelly, respectively, you all know them. And they got arrested as a result of a swatting attempt. The police showed up, and as a result of the search, found a large amount of marijuana inside the residence. And as a result, both were charged with felony possession of marijuana. Felony possession of a controlled substance. I believe that's 50 to 500 grams of marijuana. So I don't know exactly how much pot they had, but it's between 50 and 500. They were charged with both charged with a felony. They were arrested, held overnight, and then made bail Monday afternoon. The bond was set at $35,000, 10% rule. They only had to pay $3,500 to get out. So for $7,000 total, they were out and about free. You know, White Boy probably has that in his shoe or something. So they're out there free. I believe that's where we last left off after spending the better part of a day in jail, which was probably not fun at all. But we saw this news broke, and at first, I didn't know what was going on. Katie, my girlfriend, came to me and said, "Hey, did you know White Boy got arrested?" And I said, "Oh, for what? What the fuck? You got some guy that makes silly videos on YouTube. What could he possibly have gotten arrested for?" And she said his girlfriend too. And I was like, what the fuck? She makes silly videos too. What are these people being arrested for? What could possibly have gone on that they get arrested? Or that they got arrested? Well, it turns out, I learned about this whole pot thing, and I think it's evident It's evidence of, like I said, just how absurd we have allowed the war on drugs to become. Because I'll put it to you this way. When I had learned about Whiteboy7thst being arrested for felony possession of marijuana and KPOPP being arrested for felony possession of marijuana or possession of marijuana in a felonious amount. I don't even know. Don't even know what the law says, but it was a lot of it. I was drunk. I had been drinking Jack Daniels on the rocks, of course. Got to take some of the bite off. Keep it cool. Keep it cool. It goes down easy. And it was an odd juxtaposition because here I was legally drunk. In both contexts of legally drunk. I was, legally speaking, if I were to get in a car and drive, which I didn't do, the police would be correct, or at least it would be acceptable for them to assume that I was impaired. That's legally drunk, I think. And then also, I was legally drunk because what I got drunk on was perfectly legal. I'm of consumption age, and I can go... consumption be done by it? Of course. But I'm of legal age. I went and bought it, and I had a few drinks, and boom, legally drunk. And I learned about a guy who just liked to get high or just liked to get inebriated in some way, just like me, being charged, and his girlfriend, being charged with a felony for liking to get high. And for possessing something that gets them high or gets them altered, let's say, in a similar way to what I had done. Alcohol and marijuana are similar-ish in what they do. They make things funnier and a whole bunch of other things. There are upsides and downsides to both. But it was weird because I looked around and I looked at the bottle of Jack Daniels that I had. Because, of course, I couldn't be away from it for that long. I have to keep... It's not like it's somewhere else. Like, I have to go into the cupboard to get it. It's right next to the to the drink I'm pouring because I don't know. I may need another one very quickly. So I don't want to remove the bottle and then have to go find it, go on a journey, an odyssey later to try to find the Jack Daniels bottle. I need to keep it close by just in case that I finish and I need a refresher. I need a refreshing of my drink. And I looked at the bottle and I thought, I could go out to the store. Not drunk. I mean, I would have to have somebody drive me. That would be bad. But I could go to the store and buy, legally, enough alcohol with which to kill myself. I could go out, buy, and possess and consume, legally, alcohol in an amount that would kill me, that would poison my liver and kill me. And that's perfectly legal. I could go right now. I could make it part of the podcast. I could set up, a laptop and record it with a microphone as I walk into the store and buy enough alcohol in an amount that were I to consume it quickly enough, I would die from alcohol poisoning. And that's perfectly legal. Perfectly fucking legal. Alcohol is legal. It's legal to own. It's legal to consume. It's legal to buy. It's legal to sell. You need a license, but that's just that's a administrative function because they got to get their nut too and blah blah blah. It's a perfectly legal substance. Past a certain age, it's perfectly legal, and it can fucking kill you. Cigarettes, legal. It can fucking kill you. And there's no law against how many cigarettes you can own as long as they have the tax stamp. Again, the powers that be get their nut covered. You can smoke a carton a day, and nobody's gonna say boo to you. You can I'm just big smoker. Hey, big smoker, big stroker, but no, big stroker is a smoker. Hey, I'm just gonna smoke these cigarettes, and you can just smoke and drink yourself into oblivion, and nobody's going to say a word to you. Nobody has anything to say to you. We of a society have said, okay, these are okay. Yes, go ahead, go forth and smoke and drink and be merry. Even though these things can and will eventually fucking kill you, especially alcohol. I don't know if you can overdose on nicotine. You might be able to. I remember in Thank You for Smoking, there was a scene having to do with that. Anyway, alcohol in an acute enough dose can you're just done. Not done. It becomes a dangerous chemical. I mean, it is a dangerous chemical. The right stuff you use in Molotov cocktails to set people on fire in Ferguson, Missouri. That's what, it's a dangerous thing, but people like to get high, and so we say, okay, yeah, here you go. Have your Jack Daniels, have your Bacardi 151, have your Everclear. My God, Everclear's a thing. It's legal to buy and sell Everclear. Do you know what Everclear fucking is? Ooh, bad times on Everclear. Because you don't know. The worst part is you don't, there's like no impurities or very, very few impurities in Everclear. So there's very, very little bite to it. And you don't know what you're doing. So you're like, oh man, this is fucking Everclear and whatever, tastes great. But you don't realize there's not that bite to the alcohol to remind you, hey, you're drinking something that's it'll catch up to you. You know, there are certain alcohols where you can get out in front of you can out-punt your drunk coverage. You just drink your drinks, the sheer amount of alcohol you consume outpaces how fast it gets into your system and how drunk you feel. So, you know, you'd have 4 drinks, but you are only feeling the effects of like 1.5 or 2. And so you think, man, I'm 4 drinks deep. I'm 4 beers deep, and I feel pretty good. Let's keep going. Come on. Bring it on. Well, then you get 8 deep, or 6 or 7 or 8 deep, but you're still, at that point, you're only at 4. You're only feeling the effects of 4. So you think, oh, man, all right, I feel good. All right, let's go out and party. Not knowing that there's another 4 drinks in the pipeline that are coming to get you. They're going to come find you. And that's why all of a sudden you black out and you wake up and you feel like shit. You can out-punt your coverage with alcohol, just in general. Everclear makes it a sure thing that you are going to out-punt your drunk coverage. You're going to be so shit-faced if you don't have a hard limit. What the fuck you? No. I hope that music wasn't copyrighted because I want to leave that in. Because here's what that was. Here's what that fucking was. That was a fucking website, a news website, I believe The Guardian, that just started playing something. It started playing something. It's like, oh, you have had me open for long enough. Now I am going to start playing this media file because fuck you. Fuck you, Guardian. Fuck you. Fuck your webmaster. It's bullshit. Why the fuck am I hearing whatever that shit was in my headphones? All of a sudden, I'm trying to make a point about being drunk, and then here comes drop the bass. It's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. And this is coming from a guy who makes his living on the internet selling advertisements over content. I'm in the business. I make my money doing this. Not a lot, but it keeps me milk and cookies. I make money doing this, and even I'm telling you, what the fuck are you doing? Do you really need to just have shit that just starts playing? That's how you got to cover your expenses? Maybe you should trim the fat in a certain few places, huh? If that's what you need to do to people who just want to read your website, I'll let the ads play. I'm not going to run ad block. I'm not going to do it because I understand you got to... So I'll let the Best Buy banner roll. I'll let the Newegg Amazon AdSense cookie-driven advertising play. I'll let that go because I understand. But when you go so far as to if I leave your website open long enough, something's going to refresh and just start playing out of nowhere, and I have to try to find it. No, fuck you. That's gouging. That's too far. That's way too far. You can't be so caustic to the people in this day and age that don't run ad block. You can't do that. I don't know why webmasters and people that run websites think it's okay, and they try to justify it, and it's kind of logical, but they say, well, with so many people running ad block, we have to run more invasive advertisements to the people that don't run ad block, and those will cost more. We'll get more revenue from those. They'll be more invasive, but it will be just as though, it'll make up the loss of people running ad block. And I say, yeah, that works for a while, But when you do shit like, oh, I don't know, shit will just start playing if the web page is open long enough. If you do that enough, you're just going to disenfranchise the people that don't run ad block. They're just either going to install ad block or just not come to your website anymore. You can't just douse people in invasive advertisements just because they're stupid enough to not install ad block or want to try to help you. But then you're like, all right, well, you want to try to help me, so here's my big fucking advertising dick up your ass. Have fun. Yeah, big stroker. Enjoy. Fuck you, Guardian. Fuck you. Piece of shit. Your stupid bad website with all the advertisements. And I still, again, I do this. This is how I make money. And even I'm saying, whoa, bro, chill the fuck out. Chill out. And I really think some of this, as I go off into a brief tangent, we'll get back to talking about Whiteboy7thst and K-pop in a bit. And if you're one of those people who say, oh, get to the point. No, I refuse to get to the point. You're going to sit there and you're going to fucking listen. You're going to take your Ritalin. You're going to take your ADD medication or whatever the fuck it is. You're going to sit there and you're going to fucking listen. Just chill out. Max, relax, all cool. Shoot some b-ball down by the school. I really think that a lot of advertisers, and I've thought this for a while, and the football in America is huge. This is how I know. This is how I know that people are using, specifically advertisers or people that use and run advertisements, they're using a downturning or stagnating economy as an excuse to gouge people, as an excuse to just douse people in advertisements, monetize fucking everything under the sun, because their trump card is, well, times are bad, so I got to do this to make money. And in the NFL, it didn't used to be that the red zone was sponsored by Old Spice or Toyota. It wasn't always. The first down marker existed before it was monetized. The pregame show existed before it was monetized, before it was the Toyota pregame show, or this brought to you by Taco Bell. They had the little breaks. This presentation of NFL football brought to you by Taco Bell, brought to you by Intel, brought to you by IBM, whatever. And they had commercial breaks. But that was it. They didn't have, now we go to this section of the show sponsored by this. Now we go to, here's the scrimmage line sponsored by, the red zone sponsored by, the first down marker sponsored by. Now we go to this special camera angle sponsored by this. You're gouging the fuck out of people with things you've already had. Broadcasting NFL football has done nothing but get more lucrative. The economy, blah, 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 bullshit. More people are watching NFL football now than ever before. Even when the economy was good, more people are watching. You still have the same amount of ad breaks. Shit, you have more because they got rule changes and this and that, and more people are kicking. Or if you have a generally a higher scoring game, there's going to be more touchdowns, which means necessarily that there are going to be more commercial breaks. So you're getting more just inherent commercial breaks in the football game. But still, even then, there's more and more and more, and the highlights are sponsored by, and the fucking Cletus robot thing, and it's just, no, I know, it would be really, really hard to show that were it not for these extra little sponsorships, these pervasive or invasive little things that they just kind of creep in there, you know. The first down line was just the first down line. It was pretty cool technology, so people could know, oh, is that a first down? I think it is. You know, instant replay, and those all things existed before they were sponsored by this or that. If you're going to tell me, I find it very hard to believe, nearly impossible to believe, that were it not for those little monetization things, your Fox would be underwater, CBS wouldn't be able to broadcast NFL football, NBC, ABC, ESPN. Bullshit. You've got a World Series game, Major League Baseball World Series game, trounced by a Titans Jacksonville, two of the bottom feeders in the NFL. Worst, just god-awful teams you wouldn't even want to take them home to mom. You don't want anybody on the fantasy team. They're just like the Black Death, the creeping crud of the NFL played each other. It was the creeping crud versus the creeping crud. Tennessee Titans and Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe it was, did about an 8 or crushed the World Series game in Nielsen ratings. Crushed it. A mid-season NFL game between two bottom feeders, cellar dwellers, absolutely crushed MLB baseball in terms of ratings, in terms of market share. So don't try to tell me that you need to do all this. You want to do it because it makes you money, and that's what you're in the business of doing, is making money. Okay, but don't try to bullshit me and say, oh, well, this is what we need to do in order to cover our nut. This is what we need to do. No, you just want to find any excuse you can to make more money. So fuck you, Guardian. Don't try to tell me that you don't make a lot of money in publishing the Snowden stuff and all the traffic to your website and just the banner ads and the AdSense alone on that is hundreds of thousands of dollars monthly, not to count any other distribution you might have or sponsorships or this or that. Don't try to tell me you need to just start, we need to have you start playing shit in the middle of your viewing of the page because, that's what we got to do. We need to have your page refresh just randomly because that's what you got. No, bullshit. You're using under the guise of a downtrodden economy, you're doing all this invasive shit to try to just make a little bit more money. You don't necessarily need it, but you want to have a little bit more money. I say, fuck you. Too much. Too much. There's a point past which you have to say too much. And this is it. No more, this is bad or that's bad, and so I need to do this. Fuck that. Fuck that. Just like the NFL, just like NFL viewership has done nothing but go up, and have more commercial breaks. You don't need to be monetizing everything. I don't need to have fucking corporate logo feces splattered all over the fucking screen every 10 minutes. I don't need it. You don't need it. You just want to do it because it makes you more money. And similarly, shame on you, Guardian and other websites and webmasters for pulling that kind of garbage too. It's not necessary. It's not needed. You just want to look good on the bottom line. So anyway, back to Whiteboy and KPOPP. I forgot where I was going after the website. The website refresh monster got me. But, so here we have, I could go out, perfectly legal, buy alcohol, enough to kill myself. Marijuana, while not good for you at all, isn't going to kill you necessarily. I mean, the tar may, lung cancer or respiratory illness, may. But as of right now, nothing we see indicates, hey, this shit will fucking kill you if you smoke too much of it, or if you're a regular smoker of it, you're going to develop these things later on in life. Nothing we see indicates that really, or at least any more prevalent than alcohol. Any more prevalent or worse in magnitude than alcohol. They are on par at the very least in terms of how bad it is for you. Okay? And this is in the same vein of just admit all the bad things, however erroneous people want to claim, that school of thought. Yeah, no, you can't really OD on pot, but some people say you can. Okay, fine. Yeah, you got to smoke a lot of pot to do. Yeah, fine, sure, yeah. You can do that on alcohol a whole lot easier. So I can go out and possess enough alcohol to kill myself, or were I to apply it on other people, they would similarly be dead in the hospital, maimed, fucked up, whatever. And here, Whiteboy and KPOPP, two people who make silly videos on the internet to make people laugh, are now accused of a felony. A felony. A serious big deal. Big deal. You don't, bad juju. Bad juju. Surrounding felonies. You don't want to mess with that. You don't. Now, on the flip side, I said this on Twitter and I stand by it. The state of Illinois, where they were arrested, Will County, just south of Cook. The state of Illinois does not want to make felons of Whiteboy and KPOPP. They charged them with it. They charged them with a felony. But the state of Illinois, more than likely, does not want to go through the entire process of holding a trial, 2 trials, and trying to convict these 2 people who I have to believe that at some point there's going to be somebody of some power on the side of representing the government that goes, wait a minute, these two people just like to get high and they make videos on the internet. What the we don't want to put them in jail. A lot of people were freaking out. Oh, they're going to go to jail. Minimum sentence of a year. Minimum. We'll get to mandatory sentencing as well. Minimum of a year if they're convicted. Right. You know what that means? That means that the state of Illinois has to spend money to house Whiteboy and KPOPP for at least a year. They don't want to do that because they're not really dangerous people. They're not at all dangerous people. Unless you don't like their videos, but even then, you just don't like them. They're dangerous. They're just cooler heads will prevail. Reasoned heads will similarly prevail. Somebody somewhere is going to say, "What? 1 to 5 years? Do we really want to put these people in jail for what? What? Fuck, get this out of here." Now they'll plea it down or maybe even get off. I don't know. Somebody asked about the permissibility of the evidence, which is would be the pot, as it pertains to the arrest, because the police were there originally as a false bomb threat, supposedly. Some people are alleging it was a swap. Maybe it was a raid. Maybe they just maybe it was 500 grams and the police were watching them for a while. I don't know. But if we go with the line of thinking that it was somebody calling in a fake bomb threat, there is, I don't know. I honestly don't know if there's anything to that. If somebody could argue, hey, you shouldn't have been here in the fucking first place. What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of here. No, this is not admissible. Get out. Not that the police did anything wrong. They were acting in good faith. You know, they don't know. How are they supposed to know? But, and of course it speaks to the militarization of police because, you know, there's no police work done. No police work, no detective work done, no research done, no inquisitions made. It's just somebody says something and they're at the fucking door. Bam! Let's go, motherfuckers! Get on the ground! All right. Okay. Nothing? Oh, shit. Okay. All right, bye. That's what a lot of people... Well, what's wrong with the police having AR-15s and the ceramic body armor and all that stuff? Because it incentivizes not doing actual police work and just kicking down the door and shoving guns in people's faces to try to find out what you want to know. Instead of trying to tail the guy and do actual police work and go and get warrants and this and that and do all the things that you need to do to try to make a case or build a case against somebody, you just say, well, fuck it, it's Baghdad, baby. Bam, kicking that shit. Let's go. Did you do this? No? All right, cool. Bye. Thank you. Go on about your day, citizen. That's one of the very, very real downsides to police militarization is that it incentivizes being a military, being an occupying force as opposed to just a police force with detectives and guidelines and directives and all that. But suffice it to say, despite being charged with a felony, Whiteboy7thst and KPOPP are probably, hopefully, not going to do any time. I would say that because, again, they're not violent criminals. They're not drug runners. They're people that like to get high. And on some level, as much as I rail against how we over-police ourselves, we over-arrest ourselves and overcharge ourselves as a society with crimes and bullshit and legislation, at some point you have to believe in the system. And the system is designed to put dangerous people in jail, not necessarily to put offenders of arbitrary laws in jail. You know, well, you get malum in se, malum prohibitum. It gets all muddy and stuff, and I'm not equipped to actually debate those precepts on my own. But I have to believe on some level a judge, a prosecutor, somebody, more than likely a judge, because a prosecution represents the state. They have a client. They're not an independent. They are a client, just like your defense attorney has a duty to you to represent your case and to fight for you and effectuate what you want. Similarly, the prosecution has those same duties, but to the people that want to charge you with some fucking real shit. So a judge somewhere, I would hope, would look at this and go, really? We're really trying to put these people in fucking jail. Get the fuck out of here. I don't hope that. And K-pop and White Boy, not to count their money for them because I don't like counting other people's money. Some people do. I don't. Not to count their money, but, you know, they can probably hire a decent attorney or hire an attorney to handle this, to make it so that they're not burned by this. I said it on Twitter, and I thought it was through the haze of Jack Daniels at the time, but I thought it apt. They may get singed by this, but they're not going to get burned. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. Thank you. They may get singed by it, but they're not going to get burned. However, here's a big problem. Here's a big problem I have. And I've said it a lot, and I don't mean it to degrade the content made by White Boy or K-pop. And when I say silly, I mean it's just they try to make people laugh. That's what I mean by silly. But they make silly videos on the internet, right? Both of them, and they're both pretty damn good at it. They now have a felony arrest that's going to follow them around for the rest of their lives. A felony arrest. No matter what they do, you can expunge the records of, you can get the case thrown out and you can have all the records removed of the proceeding, of the trial, of what they tried to do to you. But, and you can do all that after the proceedings, after the trial, even I believe even if you plead down to something, you can try to have the proceeding itself expunged and you get the file and it's in your possession. The arrest records, as I understand it, never ever goes away. Ever. You can expunge, you can win, I guess, expungement or whatever the procedure is, and you can, quote, have your record expunged and have a record of all the things expunged and it's gone and it doesn't exist anymore. But that arrest record never goes away. Ever, 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 ever. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing you can do to get rid of that arrest record, which is why some people may not understand it. Which is why I am so ardent about, let's just not go around arresting people for shit, because those arrests is a bullshit arrest and a bullshit prosecution, and it all goes away, and I want to have it expunged. But that arrest record never goes away. You get arrested for some bullshit, it gets with you for life, for the rest of their lives. Alex and Kelly, White Boy and K-pop respectively, no matter what they do, YouTube isn't forever. YouTube is not forever. White Boy is a social media mogul. He could, I don't know, get a job running social media or be a social media consultant for people, this and that. K-pop, I believe she went to school or was going to school for something. The point is, there's going to be, quote, real jobs. There's going to be something after YouTube. And there's going to be somebody probably who runs a background check on these people, because that's just standard operating procedure for when you hire somebody for whatever the position is, or whenever you're considering somebody for a position. And for the rest of their lives, no matter where they go, no matter what they do, that felony arrest is going to show up. It is going to show up that they were arrested on such and such a date and such a time and charged with felony marijuana possession. Possession of marijuana in an amount that is felonious. That's going to be for the rest of their lives. And can we stop the war on drugs now? Whiteboy7thst and K-pop make silly videos on the internet, and now they have a felony fucking arrest because they like to get high. They don't hurt people. They don't run drugs. They're not giving drugs to school kids, I don't think. Probably not. They're not running guns. They're not violent criminals. They're not violent. They just like to get high. Okay. But the war on drugs has become so absurd that those people now have to fend off questions about that felony arrest wherever they go. And can we stop it? Can we finally look at that and go, oh, well, shit. That's bad. That's not good. That's not really what the war on drugs was supposed to do. That's not really what the war on drugs was meant to. That's not really what the laws were meant to do, is to put just nonviolent, just people who like to get high in fucking prison for a long time, or have a felony arrest following them on their docket for the rest of their lives. It's absurd. It's patently absurd to do that to people. And Colorado and Washington have legalized marijuana, and there are more states coming. California, I believe, is right there, and Massachusetts, I think. There are more states coming, but even then, you can only have such and such an amount. You can't have a lot. It's legal, but only in small amounts, only in amounts that and still the I can go out and buy enough alcohol to kill myself thing applies. And why? It's not good for you, but it's at worst, pot is alcohol. And similarly, before we wrap this up and do some news, listen, marijuana proponents, I'll say this a lot and I'll never tire of saying it. Don't try to tell me that marijuana is good for me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't even try to say, oh, well, relative to what alcohol does to you, it's not half bad. No, don't try to, please don't try to make the case that marijuana should be legal because it's in any way good. Or by being not as bad as other things, it is somehow good. It's not good for you. You're breathing superheated particulate air. You're breathing smoke. Most people, the way they consume it, the popular way to consume marijuana is to do that, and that's not good. It's just not good. It's not good for you. And to get high, getting high and altering your brain chemistry for different, to get a different look on things or to alter the way you experience things, while fun and interesting, probably not good in the long run, especially to just do it over and over again. Yeah, it's legal for me to go out and get drunk. It's legal. I can go out and get drunk right now. But if I do it every day, shit's going to start getting screwed up. Something's going to go, something here, I'm just going to start falling apart. Oh, this doesn't work. That doesn't work. Yeah, that hasn't worked for a while. And I have to assume that similarly, marijuana does something like that. I don't know what it is. We haven't researched it enough yet, but there's got to be something like that. Because there's no such thing as a free lunch when you start fucking with your brain chemistry. No such thing. No such thing as a free lunch. It's not just like, oh, you come down and you go on about your business. No. I refuse to believe that. That's fucking impossible. So don't try to tell me it's good. The only reason I want pot to be legal, or one of the few reasons why I want pot to be legal, again, isn't because it's good, isn't because of its medical purposes, whatever. It's because we already say, yes, there are dangerous things that you can consume to alter your perception of reality, alter your experiences. We already say that's okay. And pot is, at worst, on par with alcohol. Same thing with cocaine, maybe. I don't know. Not sure. But certainly pot is, again, assume the worst, it's alcohol. In terms of long-term, short-term downsides, it's alcohol. Why is it illegal? It should be legal. It should be legal. If it's pot, or if pot is alcohol, if pot is analogous to alcohol in terms of its negative side effects and its impact on its ability to get you high, then we make alcohol legal. Alcohol is legal to buy and consume in any amount I want. It's perfectly legal. Marijuana should be legal too. Because it's that. Because we already say as a society, alcohol is cool, pot should be cool too. But don't try to delude yourself or delude other people or confuse other people into thinking that, oh well, it's so not bad that it's almost good for you. Oh no, don't make the case like that. That's disingenuous. Pot will fuck you up. But we accept, as a society, we say you are adult enough and you have enough individual freedom, at least for now, that you can decide what you want to put in your body. You can decide. There are bad things out there that you can put in your body, but we're not going to say boo to you if you want to put those bad things in your body. Go ahead. Just don't do these certain things. You can't get drunk and go drive around and start killing people. You can't get drunk and go around and start breaking things or hurting people. And no, we're going to stop you for that. We're going to punish you. But we're going to punish you for what you do. Not just for, we got to stop the alcohol, or we got to stop the cigarettes, or we got to stop this or that. You go do it. Go do it if you want. Hell yeah, have fun. Go smoke. Go drink. Go do all the things that you want to do. Because in our society, individual liberties trump perceived or potential downsides of actions. So if you're adult enough to decide you want to drink Jack Daniels, you should be adult enough to say you want to smoke a joint. And the government shouldn't have a say in that. And it's ridiculous now that, one, it's still illegal, and two, it's illegal to the point where two people who make silly videos on the internet now have a felony arrest and are facing felony charges for possessing marijuana. Let's do some news. We got a lot to talk about in the news today. I'm probably not going to get to all these things. In the wake of the Ferguson, Missouri outrage, liberal rat Gawker has some interesting things to say about catching muggers. A man arrested after complaining about not getting sex at a strip club. Facebook tests a satire tag for stupid people. The Pope, Scoozy, said he's probably going to die. And University of New Mexico's women's soccer team peeing on each other. And a woman has 18 convictions for violent assault and is walking free. We'll talk about all those things on the news with Lefty. This is something I saw a few days ago, but I want to talk about this. This is from the Daily Echo. The latest victim of a 21-year-old estate agent who has notched up a staggering 18 convictions for violence has spoken of his outrage after she was spared a jail sentence. Ronnie Lee was almost blindsided by Yasmin Thomas after she smashed a glass into his face in a vicious, unprovoked nightclub attack. Mr. Lee, 24, needed stitches to patch up a gash just millimeters from his left eye following the assault in Bournemouth. Incredibly, it was Thomas's 18th conviction for assault. But despite her violent history, she has walked free from court after a judge handed her a suspended prison term. Mr. Lee, a telesales company director, has spoken of his disgust at the leniency of the sentence and warned that Thomas might someday kill someone if she is not dealt with properly. He said, "If it was the other way around and I did that to her, I would be going straight to jail." Yasmin claims she had emotional problems in court, but no matter what I had said, if the shoe had been on the other foot, they would have given me a ticket to jail. What happens next time if she does something and it's life-threatening? She could possibly kill someone. How can you allow someone to walk the streets and have a normal life when people don't behave like that? She's got 18 convictions already. She's a danger to herself and others around her. If someone had the amount of convictions she's got, I would think for at least one of them, there would be a lesson learned. I don't think the justice system has provided a judgment to make an example. If she can walk free with 18 convictions, what message is that spreading to the rest of the public? Mr. Lee was with his friend Richard Evans at the Bar So nightclub in Bournemouth town center in February when the pair were approached by Thomas and her friends. One of the women took Mr. Evans' e-cigarette and threw it to the floor. Thomas, a stranger to the pair, picked it up and handed it to Mr. Lee. She then said, "Are you not going to say thank you? Who do you think you are?" before lunging at him with a glass. Mr. Lee suffered a deep cut close to his left eye, which needed 4 stitches, and other smaller cuts to his face. Shards of glass had to be removed from his eye and cheek following the brutal attack. So, 18 times. I'm not familiar with the law in over there in jolly old England, but look, you know, second chance and third chances. We are a society full of second chances. Lindsay Lohan keeps getting chances, and I don't know why. There are plenty of people that keep getting chances to be just regular people, and we are a society that's, you know, you fuck up once, unless it's a severe, real bad fuck up. Odds are you're gonna be okay. All right, well, we're gonna punish you, but it's not gonna be like, it's gonna be a, hey, don't do this again, or there's gonna be some real shit happening. And then the second time and third time, it flows, and it becomes, all right, you do this once more, and it's a sliding scale. Sometimes it happens on the second offense, other times the fourth. You say you do this one more time, there's real bad stuff happening. Okay? And I'm okay with that because, you know, despite the law being the law. Lots of people like to say that, especially with the white boy K-pop thing. They say, well, it's still illegal and they broke the law, so they should be prepared for it and all the things that go with that. They say, well, haven't you ever broken a law? You probably have. Have you personally verified every statement you made on a tax return and then signed your name on your tax return? Have you ever been like, hey, I think I made this in tips, but you don't really know and you didn't really verify it, or you handed your stuff off to a certified preparer and then they handed it back to you, but then you didn't go through everything to make sure it was right. You just signed it and said, fuck it, go, here you go. It was crime. Are you prepared to deal with all the things that go along with that? Do we break the law every single day? Some of us break the law perpetually. Sometimes it's just once in a while. You know, you go too fast, you drive a little drunk, you do things, marginal things. You're not killing people. You're just, fuck it, I had to go there, and it was, I needed to get there really quickly. So I was doing 80 in a 55. So what? Blah, blah, blah. You break the law all the time. Are you really prepared to deal with all the consequences that come with it? Really? Think about it. Think about the consequences for some of the laws that you have broken. Again, have you lied on your tax return? Have you fudged numbers on your tax return? That's a fucking felony. Ask Wesley Snipes. Ask him. It doesn't work out usually that well. Are you really prepared to, if you're doing 80 on the highway, 80 is really not that much. You're doing 25 over. That's bad stuff. That's criminal. Almost. Are you really prepared for every single time you break a law to deal with all the consequences? No, of course not. So it stands to reason that the judicial system should be in every society. This isn't just an American argument, but the judicial system should be a little bit amorphous. It should be a little bit spongy. Be able to say, okay, all right. I know you broke the law, and technically I'm supposed to do this. But no, because this is your first offense or this is your second offense, and it was all these circumstances. That's why we have judges. That's why they exist. Otherwise, it's just, fuck it, there you go. You broke the law, here it is. You just take your ticket and go to jail or do whatever, and that would be it. One of the main functions of being a judge is to be kind of that compass and say, well, hold on now. Yeah, I know this is technically what happens when you commit this crime. And so I'm okay with, more often than not, people getting second and third chances. Fucking 18? 18. Okay? Imagine anything else. Not assault, because assault is weird. Okay? 18 times you're arrested for DUI. Non-injurious DUI, okay? You didn't hurt anybody. 18 times. Do you even get to 18? Like, how many can you go before you are in fucking jail for a long time? Not even, don't do it again, don't do it again, don't do it again. Not that, no, fucking in jail. It's at a certain point, not 18, maybe 4, 5. If you're really lucky, 6. Like, if you're really lucky and it's a small town and the judge is your drinking buddy and he was the passenger in the car when you were shit canned, maybe 18. Do you get 18 times to possess illegal drugs, controlled substances? Do you get 18 of those? But here's a woman, Yasmin. I'm Yasmin. 18 assaults. No jail time. No nothing. And again, we could play the game. Imagine somebody else did it. Imagine it was a guy trying to go for his 18th assault on a woman, or his 18th assault, and it just happened to be on a woman this time. Let's assume that all of Yasmin's previous assaults had been on women. Okay, let's just assume it. They've been catfight shit, and they're just like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, this is all just bullshit. She's catty. Yeah, all right. Now it's on a man this time, number 18. So let's say there's a man who had committed 17 assaults in a bar fight. He just likes to go to a bar, get drunk, and he starts fights with people, or people start fights with him because he gets drunk. And okay, and the judge goes, yeah, just, fighting. Get the fuck out of here. It's just simple shit. Punches were thrown, and then everybody, made nice. Okay, now, number 18, he beat the shit out of a woman. What is that? What is happening to that guy? Is he getting off this time? Is the judge suspending his sentence, saying, "Oh no, this was another long line of this or that"? And don't you get help, especially if this woman claimed that she has mental issues. She's got mental issues. She just can't help but be violent sometimes. You know what won't help? I might agree that putting her in jail for the rest of her life probably won't help. It won't fix her. But you know what also won't fix her? Just saying, "Oh, yeah, go ahead. Hey, have fun. Go on about your business." There's no demand that she enter a counseling program or that she see somebody or she be, in a halfway house or something like that. No, it's just go, lady, and go forth and get drunk and start fights with people because you're crazy biatch. Speaking of crazy biatches, this is a bit of a weird story out of the University of New Mexico. Members of the UNM women's soccer team are alleging they were hazed by teammates Sunday night. A victim's parent confirmed to KOB Monday night that freshmen on the women's soccer team were forced to strip naked, consume large amounts of alcohol, and were sprayed with urine. Sounds like a normal Saturday night. One of the victims ended up in the hospital, according to UNM police, who also said someone called 911 just before the midnight Sunday night to report the incident. Just before midnight Sunday night. One victim's family has already retained an Albuquerque attorney who confirmed the information about the alleged hazing. For UNM sports fans, the information was difficult to stomach. Lobo freshman volleyball player Keaton Alley told KOB the women's soccer team seems like a really close-knit team. When you pee on somebody, you've got a special bond that not many people have. If you pee on somebody and if you willingly pee on somebody, not just like, "Oh, shit, sorry, my bad. A little splash got you there. Oh, sorry, it's a crazy day. I don't even know what we're doing over here. Sorry, my bad." No, if you're just like, "Hey, here it is," and and you're drunk and naked, and, drunk naked girls peeing on each other. You can find videos like that on the internet. When you pee on somebody willingly and they accept it, you got a special bond. You look at that person every time, and you look at that person differently than you do normal people because you have felt that person urinate on you, or you have urinated on that person, naked and drunk. I just, maybe I'm too much of a guy, but I just can't get past the drunk, naked soccer players peeing on each other. It would be really awful if somebody videotaped this. That would be the most awful thing ever. Is if somebody videotaped these drunk, naked soccer girls pissing on each other. That would just be awful. I mean, who would ever think to do such a thing? And I for science research purposes, must find it. Drunken, naked soccer chicks peeing on each other. Yeah. I know a lot of the soccer girls, and I'm surprised any of them would even do that to someone. At a UNM men's soccer game Monday night, fans also cringed at the allegations. "It's probably in small doses healthy, said Jim Thompson, but take it too far, it's not a good thing." Yeah, I mean, you're in the shower with somebody, especially, women's soccer, after practice, they all get in the shower together, and you want to experiment. It's small doses. It's just, hey, there's this one part of my leg now feels a lot warmer than the other part of my leg as a result of all this water splashing down upon me. I wonder why that is. Some people just, you want to experiment. Yeah, in small doses, it's healthy, but too far, the drunken, naked pissing on people, it goes a little bit much. Until I see the video, I can't render a judgment. All I can say is, you get a bunch of girls, of age, of course, have to be of age. You get them drunk, and you get them naked and together, and maybe some good comes of it. Is all I have to say. Speaking of naked women, this is in Montana. This is from Montana, KTQV.com. In Butte. What are you talking about? Butte? Yes, I am talking about Butte. Butte, Indiana. Whatever it's called. William McDaniel found himself in jail when he called police to complain that he didn't get sex after paying for a private dance at a strip club. But Silver Bow law enforcement said McDaniel, 53 years old, called police at around 10:30 p.m. on Saturday to report that he paid a dancer at Sagebrush's Sam's in Rocker $350 for a private dance and did not get sex. Since it's illegal to offer money for sexual favors, police arrested McDaniel on a misdemeanor charge of soliciting prostitution. McDaniel was released from jail after posting bond Sunday morning. According to the Montana Correctional Officer Network website, McDaniel has convictions in Deer Lodge County, Jefferson County, and Silver Bow County for felony DUIs and criminal possession of dangerous drugs. This sounds to me like a man who just wants to party. This man, William McDaniel, from Butte, Montana, he just likes to get him. He just likes to party, man. He just likes to go out and get drunk and, drive around while drunk and probably with some cocaine and find himself some strippers and just look for a good time. $350 for, all right, that's a decent amount. And I want to know, did the stripper agree to it? And then did she renege on the deal? Because what the fuck? I'd be pissed too. Not that I would go see a hooker, but we agreed. Hey, $350 for a half and half in the back. Okay, now we get in the back and you just shake your booty at me, and it's no, I want the half and half. What is this? Now the calling the police part is what makes it really dumb, because I want to know the circumstances under which, I want to know the thought process in his brain that I tried to pay this woman for sex and she agreed, but then she didn't have sex with me. I need to call the police because you know who needs to hear about this? You know who needs to hear about the travesty that is me offering to pay money for this woman for sex? I did, and then she didn't have sex with me. You know who needs to hear about this? The police. 5-0 needs to come down and get involved and get me my sex. What did he want them to do? Make this woman have sex with me, officer? Of course, you got to be drunk. You got to be all kinds of drunk to make that make sense in your head. But what's the thought process there? Does it never occur to you? Does the lightning rod never light up? Does the bulb never fully get bright enough to think, hey, maybe I shouldn't call the police on myself for trying to solicit a prostitute? Maybe I shouldn't do that. It seems, how would this look? How would this look to the police when I call and say I tried to pay a woman for sex and she didn't have sex with me, or I paid a woman for sex and she didn't have sex with me? How might that look to some other people? You've got to be a special kind of dumb, or special kind of drunk and dumb, to think, yeah, what the hell, man? This is crazy talk. Why am I not getting my half and a half in the back? Speaking of morons on the internet that need to have special things done for them, Facebook is testing a new satire tag to protect users from The Onion. Quick quiz. How many of these headlines can you recognize from the week's news? A local man feels even lazier when he thinks about how much ISIS has accomplished in this year. A police officer doesn't see a difference between black and light-skinned black suspects. And a weak-willed termite eats a whole log in one sitting. So obviously none of those were real stories. They were all inventions of the venerable parody news outlet The Onion, purveyors of the finest snark since 1988. But, of course, you knew that. Unfortunately, there are several people around the web who aren't as discerning. It is for the sake of those poor unfortunates that Facebook is developing a new feature, a satire tag. First spotted by Ars Technica, the tag clearly flags any Onion headline which shows up in your news feed as satire, in brackets. Though the feature doesn't apply to every parody article just yet. A Facebook rep confirmed the news to Ars Technica, saying, "We received feedback that people wanted a clearer way to distinguish satirical articles from others in these units. That feedback is perhaps best exemplified at the blog Literally Unbelievable, which curates a fascinating and bizarre collection of Facebook users who haven't got the joke. If you're looking for a misdirected shock and outrage at its best, treat yourself to a dip in those archives sometime." Here's the thing about... Listen, okay? The Onion is, it's good for a yuck. once in a while you see an Onion article and you read it and you go, yeah, it's making fun of what's going on. It's really good. The Onion News Network is, again, fun. But you know why this is a thing? I mean, people are dumb, but people have always been dumb. People have always been dumb. And even if you give a dumb person an Onion article and say this is satirical, they will be smart enough they will hopefully be smart enough, probably be smart enough to understand that it's funny and why it's funny. And they'll go, oh yeah, yeah, this is funny. Here's why this is a problem. Because people are fucking lazy. Because the reason Facebook now needs to add a satire tag is because all people want to do is read the headlines. That's all people want to do. They just want to read the headline, read the few bullet points with maybe a quote, and then go on about their business because I got places to go and I got things to like and people to poke on the Facebooks. That's why. This is why I said in the middle of the show when I went off on a tangent, there's going to be people that say, oh, get to the point, get to the point. No, sit down and fucking listen for a bit. It's good for you. Just turn off. I mean, if you don't want to, if you can't help but just, I need everything in bite-sized morsels and I need it now and I need it now. Well, then this isn't the place or the show for you. But think about that. Think about how you live your life. If you really need to hear about Whiteboy7thst and KPOPP, but you need it like right the fuck now, and you can't. I don't want to hear exposition. I don't want to hear reasoning. I don't want to hear anecdotes. I don't want to hear anything. I just want I just want the headline, a few bullet points, a quote maybe, and then I can go on about my business. We're a society of people who we are willfully ignorant. We don't want to read articles. We just want to hear the sensationalized, this is what this is, right? Facebook tests satire tag to protect users from the Onion. That's all. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Did you hear about Facebook testing a satire tag? Oh, my goodness. Oh, the Pope. I only have 2 or 3 years left to live. Oh, my God. Oh, shit. Oh, did you hear about the Pope? He said he has 2 or 3 years left to live. Never mind. It was, a lighthearted manner, and he was talking about, he was just coming to terms with his own demise and all those things. Never mind that, and that's fleshed out in the article. But, I got the headline. Let's go on about my business. So people who just want to read headlines, they just want to do the news version of reading coverage, they just read the headlines and go, oh, shit. And so they say outlandish things because the Onion tricks them because they're lazy and they don't have time to read articles. I ain't got time for that business. I just got to read the headline and go off brandishing it about and say, look at this crazy thing now. That's why it's not to protect stupid people. It's to protect lazy people because everything now has to be bang, 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 bang because nobody has the attention span to just sit down and read an article. Nobody has the attention span to sit down and just listen to a podcast. It's got to be, who do you know, what you know, when you know it, okay, bam, next. Who do you know, what you know, when you know it, bam, okay, next. And this is what it results in. It results in all people do, go to Reddit. Go to Reddit and in the r/news. How many people just read the headline? It's astonishing. You see people that just regurgitate what the headline says and never mind that the article perhaps or probably came to a completely different conclusion than what the headline posed, and people are completely unaware. Oh, my God, is this or that or this or... Just chill the fuck out. But no, instead of putting a foot down and saying, no, stupid people, you're either going to pay the price of being lazy, or no, lazy people, you are going to either pay the price of being lazy and have people mock you for not actually reading the Onion articles and then figuring out that they're satire, or you're just going to have to go through and actually read articles to make sure that they're not satire. Instead of doing that, Facebook protects lazy people and actually reinforces people's laziness by saying, oh, well, we'll put a satire tag on it so that you can read the headline and then be, oh, my God, oh, I can't believe somebody said that. Oh, it's satirical. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Okay, next. We're just going to protect your laziness. We're going to reinforce it. All right, fine, Facebook, but this show isn't going to do it. I'm not going to reinforce your laziness. You're going to have to sit down and listen. I'll take circuitous routes. And I'll circle back. And I'll cover things more than once. And that's okay. Life is not to go through life just reading headlines and just, oh my goodness, oh, what is it? What is next on my Facebook news feed? What's next? Oh my goodness, this news headline. Oh my God, this happened in Gaza. Did you read the article? Well, no, I just read the headlines and the 2 bullet points. I still can't believe that's a thing. On the internet, in many, many websites, there's usually it goes title, byline, image or video, embedded image or video, and then article. But many news sites are now going to a format of title, 2 bullet points, supposedly pertinent to the article, then the embedded image and video, and then the actual body of the article. Not just the byline. I'm talking about actual bullet points that try to distill some morsel-sized facts from the rest of the article. And that's even before the body of the article itself. You're giving the too long didn't read before people are actually even tasked with reading something. That's how lazy we've gotten. We just assume that things are too long and to not read now. We are a too long didn't read society. It may not be good. All right, let's bring it home. Another great episode of The Lefty Show. I thank you all for joining me. I had a great time putting on the show for you today. I hope you had a great time listening. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can find the show in its YouTube formation. Also gaming content and vlogs of the like. Head on over to youtube.com/LeftyOX. Thank you to everybody for following me on Twitter at Lefty643. Twitter.com/Lefty643 is where you can stay up to date on all the latest and greatest Lefty Show news, as well as all my musings on a multitude of topics. That's at Lefty643. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing the show with friends, family, and co-workers. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search The Lefty Show. Android, iOS, iTunes Store, no matter where you go, just search The Lefty Show. Be sure to subscribe to the feed, download all the episodes at your leisure. And thank you to everybody for donating. I'm raising.com/643 Productions. Anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Bye.
King of the world, baby. King of the world.